Hey guys, it's Adrian, and today I'm taking a look at eufy S220 SoloCam. Now you can see this is a pretty small package, much smaller than the S40 SoloCam. But don't let that fool you, because this still has a 2K camera, solar charging panel at the top. There's 8 gigabytes of onboard storage here, an IP67 rating, you have local AI detection. It's also compatible with the HomeBase 3. By the way, a big thank you to eufy for sending this out for an unbiased review, but let's get into it. The package contains the S220 SoloCam. We have a USB Type-C charging cable to top it up. We have the mounting guide, hardware, and a quick start guide. The S220 SoloCam's design is really nice. So it's a very compact unit, fits in the palm of my hand. And if we take a close look at the top solar panel there, you can see it fills out pretty much the entire top. There's just narrow bezels all the way around. If we take a look at the front, we can see that 2K lens there. We also have an LED indicator light, and then we have the microphone and some other sensors. One thing to note about this unit though is that there is no floodlight feature that you would find on the S40 SoloCam. Now if we take a look at the right side and left side, that's where we have the eufy logo. At the back has the mounting port. The bottom houses the speakers for two-way talk and the siren, and then we also have a weather sealed area here, and if you retract that back, that has the USB Type-C port just to top this up before you permanently mount it, and then there is also a sync button. So yeah, overall a really nice design, very compact. There's no creaking or flexing at all with the unit, and it's properly sealed everywhere around, allowing it to have that IP67 rating, making it dust-proof and waterproof. The S220 SoloCam is a motion-based recording system, and it can detect motion up to 10 meters or 30 feet away. It features up to a 2K recording resolution. There's 135 degrees field of view at an f1.6 aperture, and it's capable of infrared night vision. There's 8 gigabytes of onboard storage, which is expandable with the HomeBase 3. It offers human and facial AI detection, and there's a 6,500 milliamp hour battery. It has a 0.9 watt solar panel, an IP67 rating, and it is also capable of two-way talk. And the operating temperature is from -20 Celsius to 50 degrees Celsius. Let's go ahead and connect the S220 SoloCam to the eufy app. So when you're in the eufy app, you're going to click plus on My Devices. We're going to add a battery camera. Scroll down until you see the S220 SoloCam right here, and then I'm going to add it to my existing home network. Now we have two options here: connect directly to router, and this is the option to choose if you don't have a HomeBase 3, or you have the option to connect to the HomeBase 3. I'm going to just add it to router for those of you who don't have eufy's HomeBase 3, and then I'll add the HomeBase 3 functionality afterwards. So let's pick that. Now make sure you're connected to a 2.4 gigahertz network, not a 5 gigahertz network. I'm going to go ahead and pop in my password right now. Now it's asking for us to press the sync button for 2 seconds until we hear a beep. So let's go ahead and do that. Now we're going to use the SoloCam to scan this QR code.
Connecting to the Wi-Fi network. Please wait. Setup was successful.
Alright, so the setup's complete. You can see if I wave my hand over the camera, it shows in the live view there. You also have the option to add the HomeBase 3 if you currently own one, but let's go into motion detection first, and you can see we could set human and all motions. Now if I go into general and then we go into storage, local storage, you can see that I only have 7 gigabytes to record to, and then old clips will be overwritten. Let's go ahead and add the S220 to the HomeBase 3. So we'll click on Edge Connection, click on Continue. It says all clips will now be recorded locally to the HomeBase. We'll click Yes, pick the HomeBase, and then click Next. Now that the S220 is added to the HomeBase 3, let's go into motion detection, and look how many more options we have. We now have human recognition, vehicle detection, and pet detection. And if I go back into storage, instead of having only 8 gigabytes to record to, I now have 1,024 gigabytes or 1 terabyte. And you can install up to a 16 terabyte drive in your HomeBase 3. Alright, so the setup's complete. You can see if I wave my hand over the camera, it shows in the live view there. So what I'm going to do is just top this up to 100% battery, install it, and then I'll report my findings. Open up this mounting unit here. And once you do that, you're going to pop off this middle portion here. You're just going to line this up on your wall. If you're drilling into wood, you can just go directly with the 2 screws and then pop this unit back on and then attach everything back. Now, if you're going to be screwing into brick or concrete, you could use the positioning guide. And then once you're done and this is attached to the wall, you'll just screw it into this rear mount. By the way, guys, if you're finding this review helpful, please consider liking and subscribing, but let's get back into it. Let's take a look at live view. And I can see that someone's taking a jog. I can actually zoom in and see they're wearing a yellow hat and then zoom back out. So you can see the video quality is quite good on here considering it is a 2K quality, and I have a very wide field of view. I can see all the way from my backyard fence to the front of my house. There is someone else walking their dog. So yeah, really simple, fluid. Now while I'm here, I could go ahead and press this icon to take a manual recording of the person over there. Say I was looking at live view. I can also take a manual screenshot, and it's again going to be saved to my phone's album. I can also press and hold to speak to whoever is out there. Now I'm not going to do that while someone is walking, but you can see I would press and hold here, say my message, and then just let go. Now I can also click if I want to have, this to open with volume or not, and I can click on this option here, and I have a bunch more options as well. I have a siren, a manual alarm, and it's going to sound a 30-second alarm. And let's go into the full options for the camera. So you can see it's actively charging right there. It's at about 68%. It's been very overcast and gloomy, so the battery percentage hasn't been fully topped up these days. And I can just go ahead and turn the camera off completely if I wanted, a bit of privacy or just to disable it. There is the option to connect it to the HomeBase. I'm not going to do that right now. I'm just trying to review this as a standalone camera, but you do have the option later on. Now, if we go into motion detection, this is where you can set sensitivity, the detection sensitivity. Mine has been set to 4 and that's been working good. You could set it higher or lower as needed. And you can also set an activity zone. I have not set any type of activity zone, but you can see you would just click this plus sign, move that around, change the shape, and you can add more than one activity zone if you like. Now, what you can also do is to set the type of motion, so you can pick human motion or all motions. And I've only set it to human motion because I have a lot of cars coming and going. I'm only interested in human motion. Next area we can go into is dashboard. And this is super handy because I love seeing this 7-day trend and 30-day trend. So you can see when I installed it, it was pretty much at 100%. And there's been a steady decline. Now, the daily change recently has been a positive 3% of charge, and you can see this is what's been going on. So yeah, overcast days it started really good, and now it's kind of tapered off. And of course I can take a look at that 7-day trend as well, and I find this very handy because I can monitor what's going on and really see if battery life is draining quickly or rapidly and make changes accordingly. If we go into video settings, you can see the streaming quality is set to auto, and you can set that to auto or high depending on your internet connection speed. Now we can also go into watermark and set to have the timestamp and logo, only a timestamp, or both turned off. And then recording quality, I have it set to 2K. I want the best possible quality, but you could also set it to full HD if you wanted to save on storage space. I also have the auto night vision option turned on so that the camera switches to the IR night vision whenever it gets too dark. And we can go into privacy zones, and again, I don't have this set up, but depending on where you live, you may need to have this set up. So you can just set up a privacy zone here and say, okay, I don't want to record whatever is going on there to comply with your local laws and regulations. In audio settings, we can decide to have the microphone active to allow audio recording, and we can set the speaker volume as well. Under notifications, this is where you can set how quickly you want notifications. So you'll get a text notification like you've been seeing pop up, very quick, very responsive, or you can go to full effect where you get a text notification first and a thumbnail follows, or you can just get a thumbnail. There may be a little bit of latency with this mode, so I like having it on most efficient. Under general, we can turn on or off the status LED to further save battery life. We could switch a Wi-Fi connection. If we go into power manager, you could see, take a look at these detection statistics. So in the last 25 days, I've had 9,400 detected events, 3,000 recordings. So that just gives you an idea of just how busy my area is. And you're likely not going to have all of those type of detections and recordings. And this is where you can set optimal battery life up to 20 seconds, or you can have up to 60 seconds clip length, or you can go ahead and set it to a maximum of 2 minutes clip length with a 5-second cooldown time. And you can also enable the option to end the clip early if motion stops. Now for power source, we only have the battery option right now because I have not connected an external solar panel, but eufy does sell that if you're interested. If we go into storage and local storage, we could see that we have 6.5 gigabytes used of the 7 gigabytes of onboard storage, and it of course overwrites old clips to record new clips. You can also share your device with family members if needed. Reviewing events is quite simple. You would click on the events tab at the bottom, and from here we could filter which camera that we want to take a look at. So I'm just going to click on the filter icon. I've called this side door, so I'll click side door confirm, and you can see I have a bunch of different clips. So here's one that says human, side door, human, and this was a delivery that I accepted earlier from the courier company, and you can see that loads up very quickly. It's very clear. I could go ahead and, just make a full screen view of that, kind of zoom in. I could even make out the phone number on there, so pretty good quality for a 2K camera. Anytime you find an interesting clip, you could download it directly to your phone, share it with someone, you can donate it to Eufy, or you can delete it completely from the system. So the video quality on here is awesome, as you would expect for a 2K camera. So yeah, really don't let the small body fool you. It's quite capable. So video looked great during the day and at night, and it didn't matter if I had kind of like ambient light, illuminating the scene, or if it was completely pitch black and it just had to rely on the infrared night vision. The motion detection is rated for about 10 meters or 30 feet away, and from where I have the camera installed at the side of my house to where my sidewalk is, it's about 28 feet, and it easily picked up people moving backwards and forwards without issue. You can see a lot of the times when you're seeing people, they're about halfway into the frame, or maybe a little bit earlier than halfway into the frame or the scene, and that's because by the time motion detection kicks in, if they were moving kind of fast, there's a chance it may not kick in, and then when it kicks in, they're already halfway into the frame, and that's based on my motion detection sensitivity being at level 4. Perhaps if you increase it a little bit more, you can get motion earlier in the frame. But for the most part, I'm happy if I'm catching them in the middle and leaving, because I'm also trying to balance, the battery life.
This is what audio sounds like coming out of the S220 SoloCam.
Alright, let's talk battery life. So when I first installed this, it was at 100% roughly, and after 22 days, it's now at 73%. Now when I installed this, the battery life was pretty much always topped up because it was around August 20th, there was a ton of heat, ton of light all the time. Now it's way cooler, it's a lot of overcast days, and I'm at around 73%. Now that's still pretty good in that time frame, again, considering how many recorded events I'm having, around 130 to 160 video recordings per day, and around 390 to 400 motion detected events. That's really a lot, guys. If you're living in an area, half as busy as mine, expect way better battery life. The 8 gigabytes of onboard storage does a pretty good job, because I'm getting around, 16 to 19 days of video playback history, and that's always dependent on, how many recordings I'm taking per day, but the average is between 130 to 160, and that is a lot of recordings. Now, if you live in an area where it's way less busy than mine, you can expect way better than 16 to 19 days. You can probably get a month, maybe even 2 months. If you're trying to decide between the S40 SoloCam and the S220 SoloCam, the main difference is that on the S40 SoloCam, there's a small spotlight, but on the S220 SoloCam, there is no spotlight at all. So if you're looking for an outdoor camera that has a solar panel, don't let the S220 SoloCam fool you. That 2K camera on there is really awesome for the size of this camera. 8 gigabytes of onboard storage is plenty for, at least 1 to 2 weeks of video review and playback, and also you have the option to add the HomeBase 3 if you like. And of course, like with all of Eufy's other cameras, there's 0 monthly fees on here, and I can't stress enough, guys, if you're looking at a camera system, really look at the monthly fee portion of it, because with some of these camera systems, you're paying to unlock, all of the features, and with Eufy cameras, all of the features are just present to you. So if you're interested in checking the eufy S220 SoloCam out, I'm going to leave some links down below. And as always, if you found this video helpful, please consider liking and subscribing. I'm always doing these type of videos, and I have a couple of exciting camera reviews coming up next, so stay tuned for that.